Alright guys, hello and welcome to a reaction video. The state of play has just finished about half an hour ago. I noticed another YouTuber live streaming it and reacting to it. For what I've already just watched through very briefly, I don't think there's many. Well, I'm hoping there's not spoilers. I don't think they would spoil anything during this. And I think anything that has already been leaked probably has already been spoiled. But I'm very keen to look at this. If for any reason you guys don't want to watch this, I would suggest that you don't if you don't want to be revealed of any kind of like potential mechanics or anything like that. I'm interested in it. From what I've seen, it's a gameplay video of a certain point in the game. I'm not sure where. A bit like the Resident Evil one a few months ago. That person was very careful in the way they live streamed it. Kat was very, very careful. She didn't show off any shops or interiors or any puzzles or anything like that. There was nothing spoilerish at all. Now, I believe and pray that this is the same thing with Last of Us Part 2. So we're going to watch it. Credit to PlayStation Europe on their YouTube channel. This is going to be a reaction, so I'm not going to be talking too much and just reacting to what I like and what I don't like. And from what I've already seen, there are things that look interesting, to say the least. Anyway, let's start it. I'm just going to check to make sure it is recording. All right, so we're all fine and dandy. For some reason, my voice isn't coming through, so hopefully it will come through. So let's start watching it, guys, and let's see what this is all about. It's about 23 minutes or so. I'll try and get it up in the next day, and hopefully you guys will watch it. But if you don't want to be spoiled by anything, just don't watch it. If you want to keep things less spoilerish as possible and keep things fresh for you guys, don't watch it. I'm interested. I wasn't going to watch it, but I think I should. Oh, just so you know, I will be live streaming Last of Us Part 2 on release day.
Peggy 18.
I know you wish things were different. I wish things were different. Ellie! But they ain't.
Please stop! I'm leaving tomorrow.
To do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
You can't stop this.
I want what you want. But not at any cost.
So it starts off with the trailer we've all seen before.
I have to finish it.
There's a cost.
We could have killed you.
Maybe you should have.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director of The Last of Us Part 2. We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands. The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times. We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well. Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before. Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an in-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2, including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence.
I hope it doesn't contain
You'll definitely
spoilers.
want
I
to stick around
really
for
do
that.
hope that. I'm praying that's not the case because I agree with what Ash said on his stream, Ash BFC.
I don't know what
I
happened.
really do agree with it. I don't want it to be too
You're supposed to pick it
spoilerish.
in fireflies and walk
Not that
away.
anything more can be spoiled.
They were actually
And
going to
they
make
really
it,
should have
sure.
been much better on
The
the
only
the
catch.
leaks and stuff like that, but that they failed in that.
It would kill her.
I'm still going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game.
Now I've
Ellie and Joel
heard
have settled in Jackson, Wyoming,
that the
amongst
story
a
isn't
thriving
that
community
great,
of survivors.
but I'm my own critic.
With the threats
I
of the
believe
world
in my
kept
own
outside the
opinion,
town's walls,
and
Jackson
my
has been
own
able to find
viewpoint,
relative
and I will
peace
make my
and even
own
stability.
decision based on what
Ellie
I
is now
think.
19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice. Her journey will take her to new parts of the country previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest.
I hope they go back to
Each
previously visited
introduces a
areas.
wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore, rendered in meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine. Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it. The city exhibits drastic shifts in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles.
See, that I
allowing
like.
you to
I
discover
like
new
that.
areas, resources,
But I do agree with
and
what Ash
thriving
said, and
areas.
hope they don't overuse it too much.
These more open environments
Don't
also create new
completely
strategic
focus on that kind of
considerations
thing.
in
I think
combat,
it needs to be used
whether
carefully
it's to get
and
the jump on
appropriately.
enemies
This is
or
where I got
bypass
to.
them entirely.
What's your about
The
here?
Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains. Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate.
Here I watched too.
However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly. As Ellie uncovers the
Here.
path to
It was
finding
here.
those who have wronged her,
This is
she
where I
must
stopped.
face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources. One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF. The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance to the military occupation of Seattle and eventually wrestled control of the city from them. They are highly trained, organized, and well-equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city, imprisoning or killing trespassers on sight.
Hey, we got another trespasser. A girl. Did you see her?
On the other side of this bloody conflict is a group of religious zealots called the Seraphites, or Scars. defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces. Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover, and they use more silent weapons like bows and arrows.
Clip her wings.
But beyond this conflict among survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected. They are the recently infected runners who are more numerous and aggressive in this game. The blind but extremely deadly clickers, and the stalkers who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustule. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait until you play the game for yourselves.
Great not revealing that and only giving it a sound. I love that. That is the kind of stuff that I want this bit to be.
Will require careful consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage. The WLF patrol the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover. They can pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause distractions to avoid detection. 25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass or crawl through tight spaces to find new paths or areas to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage. If you absolutely have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow. Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move. Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Back off!
Oh, brutal!
Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose whether to attack these opponents separately and directly, or find ways to pit them against each other. Flee as they fight, or wait until their numbers have thinned out and engage with whomever's left.
That's what I did on Last of Us Part 1. If you guys remember my playthrough, I was using it in the mall bit. I was using the infected against the humans that come looking for Ellie and Joel.
Our goal is to create unparalleled attention, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey. As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items, weapon, and player upgrades through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience. We also wanted to extend that agency and personalization to your weapons through our new workbench system. Scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character.
That is awesome. I love that. That is so good.
Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines, explosive arrows, pistol suppressors, and more.
Explosive
All of
fucking
these
bow and
gameplay
arrow.
systems
Or
are meant to
arrows.
immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey.
It's only about maybe what 6 minutes of gameplay.
As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2. We can't wait for you to experience it all for yourself on June 19th. Until then, here's an extended sequence of never-before-seen gameplay. Enjoy.
This is only about 8 minutes or so, not very much at all. 14 minutes we're at the minute, and it's 23 minutes altogether. So that was 15 minutes of him just talking, not a lot being shown at all. She learned to swim then. I love the visuals. The visuals are spectacular.
Did you find her yet?
Shit. Escape while no one was looking. We're searching the area, just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Escape. What the fuck are they talking about?
I think that's the thing that you had in Last of Us Part, like the first Last of Us. You always had Ellie next to you in a lot of the, well, most of the game. You had a companion, either the brother at the start, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Escapes me. Or Ellie, or Tess, or someone.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
It's a PSP!
Sure, yeah. Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
That was dumb.
Oh, that's brutal, man. Who are they talking about? Maybe her girlfriend?
Boat's away. Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shit me? They put you with Joe again?
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do. Oh, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Fuck. Like
What was that? What was the brother of Joel?
Our guys executed.
Uncle Tommy. That's it. Tommy.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
I heard we might take the fight to them.
No way. Not after what went down last time. Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
That's what I heard.
Shut up. All right, calm down.
So Molotov, you can do Molotovs, and you can reinforce wooden boards as well, 4x4s, to have nails in them, I suppose, similar to the first game. That's good. I like that. This is what I saw briefly on Ash's live stream, where she gets the dog as well as the guy. Now, I'm not sure I agree with that. But if you don't get the dog, I suppose they will attack. Well, they will attack you. That's clear.
Just like that.
I like how you can craft arrows. Do their heads explode? Yes, they do.
Saw movement. I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit! Shit! Look out! Move! Over here! Drop her now, crook! Asshole! I found her!
Whoa! Now, what I heard about this game quite a while ago now is that this is a aggressive world, and you have an angrier, an Ellie that's older and angrier and more aggressive. And she's probably learnt that aggression a lot from Joel. You know, he was aggressive, and you remember like the words that she used to say, "Holy shit, Joel," and all this kind of stuff. Like that was like she was amazed by his aggression. But I think she's learnt that toughness and that real fight for survival from Joel.
Damn it! Find another way off!
But I'm impressed with what I'm seeing. I am really impressed. Not very much longer to go now. We're about 21 minutes, about 3 more minutes of gameplay. So obviously it ends before the critical point. This is not spoilerish at all. Not spoilerish at all. There's nothing spoilerish here. You don't know who you're looking for or anything, but I have a guess it could be the girl that you kiss.
You, Nora?
Maybe.
Maybe if you posted more guards, Abby would see it herself. The fuck was Abby here?
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
Don't scream. Put that shit down. You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
Whoa. Oh, that was so good. There was nothing spoilerish in there at all. Nothing that gives any kind of the game away. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. So there you go, guys. That's the end of that. So thank you very much for